Hey guys, welcome back. We are now on video clip 4 of our mystery crochet along. So of this particular piece you will make 2, okay? So we're going to start with our brown and we are going to now chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and now you will form a ring and slip stitch into the beginning stitch to do that. Alright, so round 1 you want to chain 1 and you are going to single crochet around in each stitch, working over your tail. So go into that first stitch for a single crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? Then what you will do here is you will join with a slip stitch into that first single crochet. Pull through and through, and keep your yarn on your hook, of course. Okay, so now you have a little ring, and of course it is, you don't have a join here at the bottom, so you do have a ring, one you can actually put your finger through. So now rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to chain 1, and you're just going to, at this point, you're just going to single crochet around for the rows up through rows 7. So 2 through 7, you're just going to single crochet, and once you get to round 7, I will meet you back up, and here's where you may want to use a stitch marker. Just go ahead and do your first stitch. So this is your first one. And if you want to keep up with that, I'm going to use my pumpkin stitch marker. You can use a piece of yarn, and then I'm just going to hook that right onto there, and that will tell me that's my row 2. And then you're just going to go around, okay, and you're just going to complete those stitches. Whoops, it slipped right out of my hand. And once you have your 8 stitches done here all the way around, you will join up into that stitch where your stitch marker is at with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then you will just move up and go right to your next row. You will do this until you reach row 7, and I will join you right back up once we get to that next row. So go to round 7. Alright guys, so now what we are going to do, we are now going to start putting our stuffing in this piece, and it's not going to take a whole lot. So now what you're going to do is just start putting your stuffing in one end, because it is still open at both ends. And like I say, it's not a very big piece. But you do kind of want, you want the center, kind of the center of it to be a little fatter, if that makes any sense. You kind of want it to be bulkier, if you can get it that way. So if you can get a little bit more stuffing into the center, that would be great. If not, you know, that's fine too. Just work it the best you can do it. And if you have to make the whole thing bulkier, that's fine. But one end of it's going to be flatter than the other, and you will see what I mean as we go along. So now that we have this completed, we are going to start closing one end up. So what I want you to do is chain one, push your stuffing down a little bit here. So now to close this, we're going to pinch these two sides together. So if you recall, we ended up with 8 stitches. So now to close these, we're going to join these two ends together, which is going to leave us with 4 stitches total, because we're going to work straight through from this side to this side. So you're going to go into this stitch and through to this back stitch back here, which means you're going to do a single crochet from this side to this side. Okay, so that's going to be 1 stitch. Go through the next stitch to the back stitch, that's going to be 2. And just do the same in the next. Make sure you go through all the loops. So that's 3. And get that very end. That's going to be 4. Alright, you see what I mean by it's going to be flatter? And you see what I'm saying too about trying to get it a little bit fatter there in the center. Just a little bit bulkier. Okay, so now that's row 8. So you should have 4 stitches that we're going to work with. So now row 9, we're going to turn and we're going to chain up 3. And don't do these tight stitching, okay? So now out of row 3 here, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. Or row 3, out of our chain 3, I'm sorry. You're going to go down to that second stitch of those chains and you're going to do a slip stitch. And then in that next stitch on that chain 3, you're going to do a slip stitch also. And then into the same stitch that you're in right here, you're going to pull through and do a slip stitch. And then you're going to go and chain another 3. And do the same process. You're going to do this a total of 4 times. So go into the second stitch and do a slip stitch. Go into the next stitch, do a slip stitch, and go into the next stitch here on the actual piece and do a slip stitch. Alright, so chain 3 again. Second stitch, you want a slip stitch. Next stitch, slip stitch. And then your next stitch on your piece is going to be a slip stitch also. And then your last chain 3, you want to do the same thing. Slip stitch, slip stitch, and then you want to go into that very last stitch, which is hard to find, I know, but you can do it. And you'll pull through and make another slip stitch. Finish this piece off. Finish off your yarn, pull through at the end. And then what you want to do is you want to pull your yarn through and through. And I just kind of pull it all the way through here, through the center. And what that does is it hides it pretty well, where you only have to pull through once. And you can cut that. Okay? And what you're going to have to do is you need to make 2 of these. I have my other one here made, and I am going to stuff this one just a little bit more. And sometimes it's easier to stuff it once it's complete. So you might want to stuff it some and then go back and once it's complete add more stuffing. Okay? So I am going to finish stuffing this one and then I will be right back and I will show you how to assemble one of these. Alright, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have assembled one of my parts here. So now what we are going to do is assemble the other. So what I generally like to do on my parts, it makes them easier, is I like to close the ends up gently like this. I think it just makes it easier to put things together like this. So you're just going to close this gap up very gently. You're not going to pull it really tight, just a light stitch. Alright, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to match this to the other side. Make sure you turn it the right way so that they look equal. And I think it's this way. So make sure that they are going on equally. Okay? So then you want to just sew these on, or sew this one on. Get that out of the way. Well, actually, we're going to have to start on this side. So I just kind of lay it down and just start assembling. Okay, and it doesn't take that many stitches to put this together. Maybe 4 or 5, somewhere along in there, whatever you're comfortable with. And just make sure you pull them a little snug there. Okay. You want to make sure that you're keeping it as even as possible with your other one. Just like this. Okay? And then you want to make sure that you do get this very tip of it in there also. You want to make sure that that's sewn together. Okay? So then I'll just take mine and I'll tie that together right there. And then basically I'll just take my hook and grab that yarn and pull that through the center of the body where it just disappears, and then you just snip that off. And of course you can snip your little piece off there too. And then you'll have both pieces assembled. Okay? So this is your video clip 4, and I will see you on video clip 5.